everyone, welcome back to Kevin Reviews. I just finished watching the Super Mario Brothers movie. Mamma mia! No, I can't do Mario. But no, not the 1993 one with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. This is the 2023 animated, 2023 animated Super Mario Brothers movie. This is by Universal Studios Pictures, Illumination Entertainment, and especially Nintendo. This is director. There's three directors this time with Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic and Pierre Leduc. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And we have the cast including Chris Pratt, Michael Day, Charlie Day. I'm sorry, Charlie Day, Anya Taylor-Joy, Jack Black, and and Seth Rogen. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm trying to recollect here. And we have also additional voices with Keegan-Michael Key, Kevin Michael Richardson, and even the original voice actor of Mario, Charles Martinet. So first off, I don't know if anybody saw the poll I put up, and then I kind of actually took down. I deleted it. I had planned to go back to the theater to maybe see the Super Mario Galaxy movie or any of the other three that I had up there. And I was even going to do this review a week earlier, but something major came up that's pretty personal to me. Again, I can't really go into it, but it's it is pretty major overall. So I mean, I'm going to keep it to myself for now. Um, but we'll see how it goes overall. I'm hoping things will improve or get better, but I don't know. We'll see what the future holds, especially for this channel. I don't know exactly. But in any case, I did not see the 2023 Super Mario Brothers movie in theaters. I was kind of stuck indoors at the time, and for reasons I couldn't, you know, I couldn't leave. And yeah, it was kind of due to the pandemic, but it was kind of there was another reason to it, which I won't go into again. A bit personal, but whatever. If I bring it up, I'll bring it up. But it's not right now. It's personal. In any case, I didn't see this till later in 2025 because it was one that I wanted to see. I've been a Super Mario fan since the first game I played was Super Mario World, and then even though I didn't own an SNES system, Nintendo Entertainment System, I actually my first game system was the N64. Playing Super Mario 64, that was a classic game to me. Then of course I played other Mario games. Got Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart Double Dash, Super Mario Sunshine, and then I kind of took a break from the GameCube ones that I mentioned, that the Super Mario Sunshine and Double Dash, and then eventually I got back into Nintendo with the Switch, with you know uh, with not Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is another GameCube game, but the um, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Wonder. I have a lot of Super Mario games, even Luigi's Mansion 3, and I didn't even play the original Luigi's Mansion. Um, in any case, yeah, I've been a pretty big Mario fan. I've been more of a Mario fan. I think even some other classic Nintendo games like Zelda. I love Ocarina of Time, but then I think I prefer Mario for some reason. Um, but yeah, this was one I wanted to see. But I remember the trailer when the trailer came out. People were not happy that they they didn't use Charles Martinet as who voiced Mario for years to basically be in this movie, and instead they got Chris Pratt, which didn't seem to make sense. People didn't seem to like the voice because they remember Mario's voice. And yeah, I was kind of on the fence with that. And nowadays, it seems like people are kind of sick of Chris Pratt voiceover, similar to nowadays when we have Jack Black, who's just kind of everywhere um, at the at that time. Um, but in any case, uh, I think people eventually worked, were able to, evolve and basically just kind of accept it for what it is. Not everyone though, because John Leguizamo from the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie did not kind of wanted to boycott this at one point because it didn't have inclusion of Latin American characters. So basically, not have Mario not being like really pure Italian or having Italian accent or having more inclusive. And I can understand a little bit, but I think I don't know. Granted, yeah, I mean it does make sense. I can understand where he's coming through because going through where he's what he's saying, but because we have the main cast is predominantly white. Um, with every I mentioned all the names off. They're all white. White actors, especially playing Mario and Luigi, Charlie Day and Chris Pratt. And in any case, yeah, I can understand, but I mean, it is a movie, and I don't know if people really want the actual um, Mario to be talking in that accent necessarily to be, well. And while there is kind of a little bit of that, it's not. I don't know. Would people actually like having the original Mario voice, but then maybe later on get tired of the voice, or it just kind of grating a little bit because the more he talks? Because and granted, this is also paying homage to like again the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie, and as well as the Super Mario TV show, where they kind of put Mario not as quite Italian, but having more of a thick um, New York, Brooklyn accent or something like that. I don't know yet. I don't know my accents very well, unfortunately. I'm sorry. So I don't know. I kind of just want to see how it does, how it pays homage to the Mario Brothers game, and I want to see that goes. I will also mention this is by Illumination Entertainment, and I'm not the biggest fan of Illumination. I never got into Despicable Me. I never really got into Minions. I didn't get into The Secret Life of Pets. I remember liking the Lorax a little bit when I first saw it, but now I don't enjoy it anymore. But I will say this at the time when I first saw this, I think this what is currently right now my favorite of Illumination Pictures. I also forgot to mention Sing. Sing's another one. I actually kind of like Sing. I thought Sing was okay, but I think this one I think is a lot better. And I might be jumping into the review a bit. Um, but yeah, um, there's Tally. She's been very clingy nowadays. So in any case, why don't we get on to my review of Super Mario Brothers the movie? So the story in the Super Mario Brothers movie 2023 is Mario and Luigi, played by Chris Pratt and Charlie Day, are they are in Brooklyn. They take inspiration from the 1993 film with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo as Mario and Luigi, and they basically start. And so this Mario and Luigi start their own plumbing business, Super Mario Plumbers. Um, of course, they're kind of laughed at by their their family a bit, even their father, who actually is played by Charlie Martinet, and and yeah, they kind of just don't see him at doing this great of a business. And even there's one point where they don't do well. Then something happens underneath Brooklyn that they went to go fix to basically save Brooklyn in a way. And they sort of did, but I don't actually remember that part. But they eventually wind up finding a suspicious looking pipe that takes them to the Mushroom Kingdom, or at least Mario goes to the Mushroom Kingdom. Luigi goes to a different place. But Mario eventually meets up with Princess Peach, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who is trying to save her kingdom from the ruthless Bowser, played by Jack Black. And she has to, and so Mario now needs to find his brother Luigi, and Peach is trying to get an army other than her Toads. One of the Toads played by Keegan-Michael Key, and basically recruit Donkey Kong and his clan to basically join up and defeat Bowser. And Bowser's basically going after Peach so he can marry him. And yeah, that was kind of the thing, especially in Super Mario Odyssey, where they were Bowser tried to marry Peach, forcefully marry Peach. So yeah, out of all the Illumination pictures, I already meant Illumination Entertainment films. I mentioned this earlier. is I think this is still the best of it. Granted, critics didn't seem to like it initially because I guess there wasn't a lot like a story, or it was incoherent in some ways, or there it just really played a lot of fan service. But I think that's the point. This is specifically for the fans. Granted, if I had not played the Mario games, maybe that would have been a different story entirely. And I can maybe understand a little idea of the critic standpoint, but I'll get into that a little later. But it is a simple. I think in a way it is a simple story. There doesn't need to be that much to it. I mean, you can have a little bit of it, because I mean it does tackle stuff a little bit about Mario and Luigi trying to step up to basically you know be better, be not just be better, but be seen as, as not just heroes, but, as, you know, legit. Well, maybe, okay, I'm probably going off a little top, going way off here, but, they're trying to step up basically. They're trying to be the heroes, um, trying to show their family that they're not who they think they are. Even some characters like Spike, this one plumber guy, who I think the name Spike. There's another character who has that name in the Mario universe, but I don't know exactly. I remember hearing about it, but in any case, um, yeah, they're trying to show everyone that what they're made of overall, and that's simple enough. And of course, there's something with Peach's backstory, a little bit, but that's pretty rushed as well. Donkey Kong especially has a little bit of backstory, and that's kind of rushed. But I think, in a way, I think even the directors and the writer knew, and everyone else just kind of knew this was going to get a lot of fans, and this was going to be potential sequel. This is and hopes to even beat like the Sonic movies that came before it. So, and by the way, I've only seen the first Sonic movie, but so in any case, it's the animation is gorgeous. I think this is the best looking animation out of Illumination Entertainment. Um, this is It's bright, colorful. I think the best scene is the rainbow track. It's paying homage to the Mario Kart games, where every game is a rainbow track. So it's great. It's clever in using all the elements from the Mario Kart games, as well as using great shots or action scenes where it does cut normally at times for some of its editing, but other times it knows when to hang on a shot, especially when the anti-grav stuff kind of comes into play. And yes, there's anti-gravity type carts that basically go upside down and stuff. And I really like how they utilize that. It is very well done. And again, I like the references too, like the blue shells, a pretty good reference. The banana peels, really great references, or Easter eggs overall. Um, as for the characters, I kind of like Chris Pratt as Mario. I mean, granted, it's not quite Italian. He does have a few moments where he does the Mario voice, but yeah, like I said, I don't know if the Mario voice would entirely work for a whole movie. So I kind of grown to accept it. Would I want someone better? Sure, but whatever. I think overall it's fine. Same thing for Charlie Day. I think he does fine. I think he's the closest to a Luigi that we can get. Um, Anna Taylor Joy is also really good as pretty good as Princess Peach. Granted, it diverts from what Princess Peach is, being the damsel in distress, which hasn't really the older games hasn't really hasn't aged very well. So nowadays we got to have our female heroines to basically just step really be take charge, be strong, and stuff like that. And Peach does do quite a bit of it, though there is a moment where it does seem like she has to be saved, but it's not. It kind of goes pretty quick. She does eventually fight back. I think I remember even from Doug Walker's one of his reviews editorial about the Super Mario comics. Peach does actually fight back in the comics, so But I guess in the games they just want to do the simple damsel in distress. But this one, she's she was a little bit, but tiny bit, but she does fight back. Jack Black as Bowser, and I know nowadays Jack Black is kind of not as well liked, or he's overplayed to the point where people are sick, kind of tired of him or sick of him. But he does play a really good Bowser. At times he does go into his, you can hear Jack Black, but other times he kind of fits within the role. With the voice, it seems like grovelly, and other times you can hear his actual voice, especially the Peaches song. And whatever the Peaches song, I think is a favorite for some fans. For me, mm, I could take it or leave it, whatever. But I guess maybe they wanted to utilize the fact that he was in Tenacious D, um, so they want to use some songs for that. But yeah, I think Jack Black. I think Jack Black as Bowser is really good. It really fits. It's perfect in a way. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Uh, Fine, I guess. I used to be a Seth Rogen fan, not anymore. Um, but I think there could have been something a little bit better. I almost kind of wish the voice was sort of similar to, say, some of the older Donkey Kong games, specifically the Donkey Kong 64 one. That voice, like, okay, that's my best Donkey Kong impression. So yeah, it's bright, colorful, has plenty of action moments, plenty of Easter eggs. Um, there's really quite a lot to like about it. So yeah, so there are a couple problems I had with the movie. It's not a huge major one. It's more of a minor nitpick, but I can understand where like critics are coming from. The story isn't that grand. It's not it's not deep. It's not complex. There's not a ton of like depth that we could explore with the characters. It's mostly going from point A and point to point B and just kind of going, world to world basically. It's just trying to keep the simple story of trying to defeat Bowser going and just letting Mario, Luigi, and other characters do their thing, and we get to see pretty imagery as well as Easter eggs. And that's pretty much the story. And I think that's all you need. But if I were to be going looking at this as someone who not has not played the Mario games, I would have liked to have a little bit more time to really flesh the characters out more, even if they were planning to save it for like future sequels, especially with Mario Galaxy. I really think they could have fleshed out a little bit more, or have time moments or stop moments where the writing could reflect that, or we can, their actions and sayings and the dialogue, make it memorable, especially when at for a game for games that has little to no dialogue or talking on special except for speech bubbles. I think for a movie, especially, you kind of have to have those points in a way. But like I said, this is the first star of the movie, so maybe in the sequel it will become a little bit better. I don't know. There'll be more to explore, especially like Princess Peach's backstory. Um, but there are moments like Donkey Kong's backstory in terms of what he's, apparently he feels sort of neglected for some reason, and that's kind of explored. It shows Mario and Donkey Kong having some common ground, but it's not explored enough, or not, nor is it important. And frankly, you could have cut it out and missed nothing entirely. I think it's just a way to basically get Mario and Donkey Kong to be friends in a way. Um, I don't know, but whatever. It's not a huge deal. Comedy wasn't as strong, I think, in this one. Maybe it was at the first time. The second time, it's not as strong. Again, saw this by myself. But I will say, there are two minor characters that made me laugh. One's a dog in the beginning who just, Luigi did something to him, and that's very minor. It's very not important. But this dog had a mission to basically just go destroy Luigi and Mario for just wrecking things for him. And it's so funny watching this dog in action because the animation and the way they do it, the animation is pretty fast paced at times. Other times it's pretty slow, but I think it works. It's a pretty good comedic bit in a way. The other one is this Luma. I think it has a name, but this light blue Luma, I think that's the color, and that's caged up, is has a really positive attitude like a kid, and yet he's the most nihilistic character who spouts all kinds of doom and gloom and with a positive attitude. And maybe this is just the adult in me because that is so funny and so away from like your typical Mario characters. I always enjoy this character, and I think that's why many others enjoy this character because that's why they brought him back and later in the Super Mario Galaxy, and maybe even in future films. Who knows? Um, so there's that. Again, the action was really good. Are there any other problems? Uh, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong is not a good choice. I would have preferred the I don't know. I my first thought would be best play him is the voice actor who did Grunkle Stan in Gravity Falls. I think would have been a really perfect choice because this Fred Armisen, his voice for Cranky Kong is grating and obnoxious, and it's just he's not. I don't even buy him as cranky. He's just more like a snob, or he's just full of himself. Um, I don't know if that exactly is part of Cranky Kong's character, but I think there could have been a better voice. Even when I mentioned Ruckle Sand, I'm sure his voice could have been grating too. But I don't know for Gravity Falls especially. I think it works better. But I don't know. They should have probably got somebody else. Yeah, I didn't like Fred Armisen's Cranky Kong, and there's also some random sound music inserted, like "Take on Me" from list here, which I'm gonna probably do that, and even "Thunderstruck" with AC/DC. That's pretty random. I would have thought they would have stick closely to the Mario music, but whatever, it's fine. The um, well, actually, the final battle is fun. You know what? I don't think there's a lot else. I do think this is a really fun movie. It's not probably not going to be for everyone, especially not going to be for fans who non-fans of the Mario games or anyone who has not seen the Mario games. I think they would be impressed by the animation, but if they're looking for more character and more you know substance to it, this isn't it, frankly. Um, but yeah, I think I would give the Super Mario Brothers movie 2023 uh, 4 stars. I think 4 stars is good enough. I think I wish there was more. I almost wish there was. Maybe there will be later in the later sequel, like again in Galaxy, maybe in a third one, which I'm sure there's going to be a third one. But maybe have one thing I haven't seen yet as an Easter egg, and maybe they'll do it later or do it. Maybe have a story similar to say the Paper Mario games because the first two Paper Mario games that I played the Thousand Year Door first, and then I played the Mario 64 one. Had I think a lot more depth and substance and character development in there, and I think the story is much more impactful and engaging than just than the simple Mario games. There's just I think there's quite a lot more to it. Um, but maybe I think that's the one direction I wanted to go, or even the Super Mario RPG, something in that line, to make it more impactful and as memorable than just eye candy. Eye candy and eye candy animation, and the Easter eggs all galore and the characters. So, um, but yeah, I give this 4 stars. So, what are your thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie from 2023. What are your thoughts on the Super Mario Galaxy movie? Let me know, but no spoilers, please. But yeah, leave in the comments below. Give a like or dislike the review if you wish. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell for more updates or any more videos. And I will see you guys in the next review. Bye.